I think it's under.
No problem. Thank you.
I'm throwing my piece of paper
Yep.
under here.
Okay.
I'll never remember it there.
I feel bad that they've written this.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Lynn Logan, Vice President of Operations and Finance for Western University, and it's my pleasure to welcome officials from the Government of Ontario and the City of London to Western today for an important announcement about student housing. At Western, we continue to be a leader in student housing. In 1997, we were the first university in Ontario to offer a guaranteed residence space for all incoming first-year students, a commitment we're proud to maintain to this day. With more than 7,200 university-owned and operated residence bed spaces, we have the largest residence program in Ontario and the second largest in Canada. We continue to build. In the near term, we'll be adding more than 1,000 new residence beds. Not far from here, but closer to University Drive at Richmond, is the site of a future 772-bed student residence for first-year students. And on Platts Lane, a second apartment-style residence will be built for approximately 300 upper year and graduate students. We know that offering our students a safe, reliable, and supportive environment is critical to student success. It's a pleasure, then, to welcome MPP Matthew Ray, Parliamentary Assistant to the Minister of Housing, to kick off the government's announcement of supporting student housing.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thanks, Lynn, for that lovely introduction and the warm welcome today on a very rainy day in London. And thank you, obviously, to Western as well for hosting us this morning. It's an honor to join you, Minister Calandra, Mayor Morgan, here for this good news announcement. Our government is focused on building more homes of all types across all of Ontario, not just in the GTA, but in London, Windsor, Northern Ontario, and across this beautiful province. We're doing that by building critical infrastructure, removing barriers, and cutting red tape. And we're here to recognize the beneficial effect of our government's Cutting Red Tape to Build More Homes Act 2024. It is having on student housing residents here at Western and across Ontario. And I know we spoke earlier, Chris, the Associate VP of Housing. For me, it's great to see this initiative from our government in helping more student housing, as the Minister will explain in a few minutes. Getting it built as someone who was a Dawn and residence assistant through my time at Guelph. So for the Western graduates, please don't hold that against me, that I am here on foreign soil, but it's wonderful to be here. And it's really this bill and cutting red tape to get more homes built goes and builds upon our past successes to ensure that it's possible for students to find homes in the communities that they come and study, like the great city of London and at Western here. These student residents are a good example of how we're working closely with our partners to address the housing supply crisis in this province. A Team Ontario approach, which I'm sure the Minister will talk about more. We're getting out of the way to get more homes built, removing obstacles for our municipalities, universities, and other industry partners that they have traditionally faced. And we've heard loud and clear from those builders that building homes, we need to cut red tape so that they can get shovels in the ground faster. And the act that I referred to earlier is one of our initiatives to build millions of homes over the next decade. It helps get homes built faster at lower costs by letting home builders and home buyers decide on the number of parking spaces in a new residential development near transit based on market needs, for example. It allows more garden suites and basement and laneway suites to be built across Ontario, and it prioritizes infrastructure for housing projects that are ready to go with a new use it or lose it process that addresses stalled developments. It's now my pleasure to invite the Honourable Paul Calandra, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, to the podium to share more about how the student residences we're going to help build benefit from our legislation that we have passed. Minister.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Pierre, and thank you, Lynn and Mr. Mayor. Like Matt, I was a Carleton University student. My first trip here was, oh my gosh, was for a football game. And literally everybody said, why would you go watch a Carleton Ravens football game at Western? and they said, make sure you go to a bar called The Seeps. I'm not sure if it still exists or not.
Oh, yeah.
It does?
Yep.
I can tell you that was the best part of the weekend because the game did not end very well for us by the first quarter, but we became very good at basketball, so that was a very good thing. But it really is a pleasure to be here. There's just so much happening in and around London and St. Thomas. The entire area, really, there is just so much excitement happening around here. But this is a really, really important an announcement that we're making. As PA Ray said, it was part of our Bill 185, but there was so much work that had to go into bringing this forward. And really, PA Ray and, of course, Minister Dunlop are the one who deserve all of the credit for the announcement that we're making here today, in association, of course, with the universities across the province of Ontario. And again, to the cities, who this is a bit of a leap of faith for them as well, and they have been important partners in doing this. What we're talking about, of course, is allowing universities to have the same rights that our colleges have had for a very long time, and that's exempting them for the building of student housing, exempting them from the Planning Act so that they can get shovels in the ground faster. And we are seeing the results of that right here at Western. The speed at which Western has moved has really, really been remarkable. So I can't thank you enough. This is 1,000 units, and let's put that in perspective. When 1,000 units of housing for our students, that means that students aren't competing with families for housing in the community. It means that 1,000 students will have access to the services that a university like Western has to offer. I think you're about, what, 34,000 students here?
We're about 46 with our affiliates.
46,000 students. That's 1,000 more places. Students can be on campus getting all of the resources that they need. And this, of course, is one of our finest premier institutions across the province of Ontario. But I just want to thank PA Ray. There was a tremendous amount of work that had to go into bringing this forward, a lot of consultation, and then the work of getting it through the House and through committee, and even bringing the idea forward. That was PA Ray, and then, of course, Minister Dunlop, who I can assure you was absolutely fierce at the cabinet table on this. As Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, sometimes it's my job to protect my municipal partners. But when Minister Dunlop said, Minister Calandra, this is going in Bill 185, and she said it very firmly, this is going in Bill 185. And this went into Bill 185 and is passed. And again, I can't thank you enough for this. Look, as PA Ray said, this is about removing red tape. This is about bringing the communities with us. We know that we have a challenge of building 1.5 million homes across the province of Ontario, and that has to be all types of homes. It is university residents, it's homes for our seniors, it's single detached homes, it is townhomes, it's purpose-built rental housing. It is all types of homes so that everybody can have the dream of home ownership that has built the province of Ontario. And across this community, there is so much happening. There's so much economic development that is happening. We have a great mayor like Mayor Morgan here who is unleashing opportunity like we have never seen before. Some of the stats that you've been able to provide with new developments that are coming here make it very exciting for a Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. And then, of course, building on that, the university itself. We are bringing high-skilled jobs to this province, and places like Western Ontario are who we will be relying upon to not only build the next generation of innovative manufacturers in the province of Ontario, but to export those ideas all across the country. So thank you so much for moving so quickly after announcing, after the passage of Bill 185. And again, a very special thank you as well to the Mayor and your council. You have also seized on the challenges of helping us build 1.5 million homes in a way that we have not seen in a very, very long time. So I can't thank you all enough for that. We are at Western today, University of Windsor tomorrow, and many more announcements like this to come. But it really shows the value of what happens when you remove obstacles. When you give people the opportunity to get shovels in the ground, they will do it, they will make the investments, and we will make our communities better for it. So again, thank you to everybody for making this happen. And with that, I will turn it over to the Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, thank you very much for the kind words that were said about the London community. I want to recognize our planning chair, Councillor Steve Lehman, is here as well, which is a critical committee to build housing in this community, and I appreciate Councillor Lehman's leadership on that committee, ensuring that we shepherd through many approvals through to municipal council. And I'll talk about that in a second. But I do have to go back to something that Lynn said. In 1997, Western guaranteed residence for first-year students. And I came, unlike my colleagues here, to Western to study in 1998 and took advantage of that first-year opportunity to live in residence. And I came from the Sarnia area, Kamlaki actually, just a small rural area outside of Sarnia, and I never left the city. And today I have the good fortune of being mayor of this community, and I actually also sit on the Board of Governors of the University of Western Ontario, something I couldn't possibly have contemplated doing in that first year of university back in 1998. I actually stuck around and did 2 degrees here, and then I actually worked for the university for 16 years, so you kind of not only sucked me into the city, but to the university environment, and having still serving on the Board of Governors, I haven't escaped yet. And so it's my pleasure to be here for this sort of announcement. And I think the minister is exactly right. You know, the changes that have been made to allow universities to move forward at rapid speed to create units for students on campus takes that competition out of the rental market, which we know there's tremendous upward pressure on in a community like London where people are coming each and every day. I want to give you some stats because, as the minister said, it's not just student residences, although that is a critical part of building housing in this community, but it is the work that our municipal council is doing to continue to accelerate approvals of new residential units in our city. And I'll give you some statistics that the minister was talking about. In 2022, municipal council approved 4,430 units of new development. In 2023, we moved that up about 20.5% to 5,337. This year, and we're only halfway through the year, we've increased that by 95% to 10,388 units approved by municipal council so far this calendar year. That represents an aggressive move by City Council to approve units across the city. And not only are we doing that, we're also using opportunities that the province and the federal government have created, the federal government through the Housing Accelerator Fund, the province through various infrastructure programs, to not only create new housing and make those permissions, but bring that to fruition through office to residential conversion programs, through the opening up of municipal surface parking lots, to speeding up development processes and timeframes, but also truly incentivizing development in a very difficult economic climate in a way that actually creates units. And the way we did that was actually sitting down and forming committees with those who build housing in our community to talk about the types of programs that we're going to design to ensure that when we bring them to fruition, they're effective. So when we build an office residential conversion program, we have applications to it and we have units being created. When we create CIP programs to incentivize downtown development, we have people making applications to those programs and bringing high-density residential to fruition in our city. Our incentive programs actually incentivize development, and we're seeing that translate into people bringing applications before council for approval, and those approvals turning into permits being issued, which are also up year over year dramatically. So, you know, we are a committed partner in the housing journey. We recognize the importance that Western has in supplying those opportunities, not just for students, but for first-year students in particular, to have the same experience and same opportunities I had, to have that comfort of living on a university campus and residence, and to grow a love for this community, this city, and hopefully stick around for a long time and contribute to the rapidly growing economy as well. So we're certainly appreciative of our government partners and our university partners in the work that we do together, and we are successful when we collaborate. And so I'd also be remiss if I didn't recognize my daughter Ainsley, who tags around with me. She's not university age yet, but she's probably checking out the residence, because in a couple of years she'll be thinking about where she lands as well. And so as I get to stand up here and say these words, I think about the future of our community as well and the opportunities that we create for them, not just at the university, but for the opportunity of one day home ownership for the next generation as well. Thank you.
So we'll now take questions from media. If you can just come up to this microphone, please. And I know we have Kendra from CBC.
Hi. So I just had a couple quick questions. My first one, I just wanted to clarify, are these residences meant to support a specific demographic of students coming in?
Well, let
guess that's
Vice
me.
President answer that one.
So thank you. So there are 2 different residences. 772 beds will be for first year undergraduate students, and about 290 beds are for upper year and graduate students at Platts Lane. So it's covering all of our students.
And is that including international students as well?
Yes,
Okay,
it is.
sounds good. That was question 1. The next thing I wanted to ask about is you mentioned that these are going to be affordable options for students. How are we going to keep those affordable?
So again, the affordability part is really, that'll be the university. We will always look to be below market. First year residences come with a lot of amenities. So that's a very different because it actually is food and everything inclusive. So in terms of affordability, it'll be very similar to what the university is already offering. And we actually, in the upper year one, are for the first time introducing studio units. So studio and 1 bedroom will actually keep those price points lower.
Okay. How is Western planning to manage that new increase of 1,000 more students here?
Well, part of our great team for housing and ancillary services is here. So we have a very large, robust team that already manages those 7,300 beds. And so we will look to grow that to be able to manage this increase of 1,000. And we're looking at, 2026, 27 occupancy. So we have a bit of time to ramp up our services to support that.
Got it. Okay. And also a question for the minister. I wanted to ask, it's not about student housing, but it is about public housing.
Sure.
We just had our 3rd homicide in London that was within public housing, and I'm just curious, what do you think the responsibility is for housing authorities to keep public housing safe?
Well, look, I think obviously it is primary importance to housing administrators to ensure that not only our public housing but all of our communities are safe. Those are obviously decisions that we leave up to the specifically to law enforcement in a community, and any assistance that the administrators of public housing require is always there for them. But obviously, on some of the operational, on the day-to-day, it is left to our law enforcement agencies to advise and to provide the protections in the community that are required.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank
Okay.
you.
So I know we're doing some one-on-ones. Unless I missed anyone, I don't think there are any other questions at the podium.
Good.
I don't think so. So we're just going to do a quick photo op. If the speakers can stay where you are, we're just going to move the podium
Perfect,
out of
thank
the
you.
way. And if there's anyone else from Western University who would like to join the photo, please do so.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. That's awesome. We'll go in front of the Western.